Obstetric violence is the trauma and the violation of a patient's rights that is inflicted by medical staff on pregnant women, birthing mothers, and during the postpartum period. In this 4-part series, I have been investigating obstetric violence, how it manifests itself, why it manifests, and what can be done about it. This is episode 3. In 2020, South Africa's Commission for Gender Equality released a shocking report that put obstetric violence in the public eye. This is after a 5-year investigation. The report revealed that 48 women had been coerced or forced into sterilizations at public hospitals, mostly in KwaZulu-Natal. Sterilization is the process of medically removing a person's ability to conceive. The Commission's investigation found that most of these women were told if they did not sign the consent forms, they would die. Other reasons medical staff gave for the woman was either they were HIV positive or the medical staff just felt that they had too many children.
The complainants were subjected to cruel, torturous, or inhumane and degrading treatments. The medical staff breached their own duty of care to the patients, while some of the files had consent forms. This cannot be equated to the informed consent, as we know that some of the consent forms were signed under duress and or were signed when the complainant was under extreme labor pains.
This and other forms of obstetric violence continue to happen despite the introduction of the Batobile People First initiative to ensure quality services in the public sector. The government introduced the Batobile initiative in 1997 as part of former President Nelson Mandela's legacy and the transition into democracy. The initiative is underpinned by 8 principles, which include consulting citizens regarding the services that they are receiving, ensuring there is redress and accountability where there is wrongdoing, ensuring the public has access to full and accurate information regarding the service, and treating members of the public with courtesy. I approached several medical staff to talk to me about the driving forces behind obstetric violence in the public and private sector, and many declined due to fear of intimidation. A lot of the midwives and nurses I spoke to off the record expressed discomfort with talking about obstetric violence. A midwife who has worked in both the private and public healthcare sector opted to remain anonymous. She says there are a lot of challenges in the healthcare system that urgently need to be addressed to improve the quality of care in the labor wards.
Getting more midwives to come in and join the field to make sure that all moms get the best care, and making sure that the government, I don't know how would they do this because there's so many challenges even right now, but making sure that the midwives do get mental health care assistance as well, like proper debriefing, like have access to psychologists, access to counseling, because believe you me, there is so many things that midwives are faced with within the public, private, everywhere where a midwife works. There's some challenge that they're facing.
She says the majority of midwives get into the field because they are passionate about the job. However, working long hours, not having enough support, even at student level, can be demoralizing.
And support for the students as well, because in the healthcare system, when you're a student, you see all sorts of these things happening in these moms, and you wish you could do something about it, but you can't, again, because of victimization at work. You think you're better than everybody. We've done this like this for so many years. Now you want to come and change, and now the patients all want to see you instead of everybody else, and then you end up with a load that you can't take because of such things.
In 2022, South Africa's Young Nurses Indaba trade union called for a boycott on International Nurses Day. The union said that while nurses were hailed as heroes during the COVID-19 pandemic, there was nothing to celebrate in South Africa, as nurses remain largely underpaid. The union also said that it strongly believed that the nursing profession was under attack by those entrusted with transforming it. Its counterpart, the Democratic Nursing Organization of South Africa, held a panel discussion on what it called a migration tsunami of nurses going abroad due to weak systems and lack of support. In the final episode, I will look into the work that is already being done to combat obstetric violence and how optimal care during pregnancy, birth, and labor is supposed to look like.